Welcome to the D. Detroit inside Little Caesars Arena. Welcome to Big 3 opening night on the CBS Sports Network. It is presented by State Farm. Two of the newest teams to the Big 3 going at it tonight. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson, and four new teams. We're about to see two new ones here in the Enemies and Bivouac.
Yeah, well, you know, with the Enemy, we're a new team, but Rick Mahorn able to switch over from Trilogy, winning the championship in the inaugural season, so that's good. Reggie Theus joining the fray in regards to new coaches, Josh Smith, Will Bynum, who Detroit fans are familiar with. What I love about it, that means the league is in a good place because now you're able to add valuable components to a growing project.
Yes, you'll see the triplets and the aliens tomorrow in Indianapolis, but tonight it's the Enemies, led by Rick Mahorn, the original bad boy, back here in Detroit. And listen, that lineup is loaded. Gilbert Arenas, one of the new members here to the Big 3. He's inactive. You've also got Lamar Odom on this squad, and there he is. The original bad boy, Rick Mahorn, and the crowd loves him.
They do. That's a lot of respect there. I mean, put in a lot of work for years here with the Pistons, but, you know, also with the Detroit shot. So the history is there, and the appreciation for what he did back when he was playing and as a coach later on is in full effect right now for the fans.
Well, they'll be taking on a new team and a new coach in Bivouac, led by Reggie Theus, and their captain, another new member to the Big 3, Josh Smith, Will Bynum as well, Anthony Morrow. But listen, Josh Smith is the guy who leads this squad. Former Piston. Didn't get the best welcome here in Detroit from the fans from his Pistons days, but this is a guy who was a top pick, former slam dunk champion.
Yeah, and he did it with Dominique Wilkins' jersey on as well, but exciting player. Love to get out in transition, can block shots. You know, sometimes he has some issues later in his career in regards to what his overall position was, but also what his game was in regards to how you fit it into a system. This is an opportunity for him to kind of highlight some of the things that he did well when he was in the NBA.
Reggie Theus, his first season as a head coach here in the Big 3. He spent a couple of seasons as a head coach at New Mexico State, Cal State Northridge. He was there as well, and so coaching now in the Big 3 for the first time and taking on the new Bivouac squad. Let's get you up to date with the rules if you're new to the Big 3. First team to 50 wins the game. Got to win by 2. There is no running clock, but there is a 14-second shot clock. When you go to free throws, you're fouled. You shoot 1 free throw for 2 points. There's also a 4-point shot here in the Big 3. And here's one of the newest additions to the Big 3, Lamar Odom.
A comeback story. I love it. I had the opportunity for the short period of time that I spent with the Lakers to play with Lamar. I've always been a fan of the talented young man. He had his issues, but the thing about it, he talked about it, he addressed it, he's dealt with it, and now an opportunity to do what he loves to do, which is play basketball. You know, you love those kind of stories. You think about it also, too, kind of joined with Royce White with his mental issues. He talked about the inability to fly, and people talked about it, but it's a real issue. And to see these two kind of on the same team, different paths, but they came together here at the Big 3, kind of comeback stories.
So here we go. The two new teams, 2 of the 4 new teams of the Big 3 going at it. Here's Royce White right now with the rock.
First overall pick right here. That says a lot about Royce White's game and the respect he got from the league.
And he's got to remember there's a shot clock. 14 seconds is shot clock violation.
It was a lot of talent right now on this floor, if you think about it. Will Bynum, I know a fan favorite here in Detroit.
Here's Josh Smith. That left hand. Missed it. Odom has it knocked away by Anthony Morrow. He can shoot that 3. And gets the roll.
I'll touch that time. Great recognition to get the shot up before the outstretched arms of Lamar Odom was able to get there.
First team to 25. We go to the half. Short jumper by Perry Jones misses. Here's Will Bynum, former Piston. Hesitation. Kick out to Morrow. Knocks down the three. That was his specialty, especially when he was playing for the Brooklyn Nets and Oklahoma City.
I say it all the time. KYG, that's how he spots up in the corner. See Perry Jones taking the three, and Bynum able to set up Morrow for that, for a catching rhythm jump shot in the corner.
That foul's on Lamar Odom. 6-0 to score. Bynum, good cut. Blew the bunny. Perry Jones dunks it in.
That was an excellent play that time. Bynum couldn't gather the bounce pass and finish cleanly inside. Results into an easy layup for Perry Jones.
There, Bynum, the three. Odom clears. Stolen, knocked it away. Here's Morrow. Smith. Every time he gets the basketball, you hear the boos rain down from this crowd here.
You know, it's a passionate fan base here in Detroit.
Smith misses the jumper. Morrow hesitates, pulls, left it short. Here's Royce White. Back to Lamar Odom. And he knocks down the jumper. Bynum now. How about that? Nice move by Will Bynum. 8-4 the score. Bivouac over the enemies. We're going to call that reach in on Josh Smith. Perry Jones is. Oh, look at it. Now we get some mouthing off. Josh Smith and Royce West. Oh, they're going to put some hands on one another. And we got our first fight here on opening night. There's Royce White and Josh Smith. Here's Royce White. Here's a reach in. Josh Smith didn't like the call. They started jawing back and forth at one another. Things escalated from there.
Well, we've seen this in regards to competitive nature come out early in these players. It's a reason why they were professionals at any level, because they are competitors now. Cooler heads have to prevail in regards to gathering your senses and playing the game, because you can't allow it to get out of control where now it's just bully ball.
Our Michael Rappaport is on the court. Rap, I saw you get in the middle of that. My question is, what were you going to do?
I just don't want to see a fight. I want to see good physical basketball. The last thing I want to see is anything to go beyond that. And sometimes I just feel like if they see a friendly face, it can maybe help.
What were you going to say? No, what were you going to say? What?
A friendly face.
Oh, that's it.
A friendly face, because I'm just a friendly face. And the last thing the league needs is an actual fight. And I know Josh Smith is excited to be here, and Royce is obviously excited to be playing. So it's good, you know. I like it up to that level, and I don't want any more.
There he is. There he is. Look at this, look at this guy. Look,
but I feel like.
Look at this guy.
How did I look? Did I look good?
I like the hand.
I haven't ran that that fast in, I don't know, 10 years? I haven't had any reason to.
Michael Rappaport bringing peace to the Big Three.
But he's true about this, though. And he ran over, too, because the one thing you don't want to happen is a fight to kind of mar what's been a great night of basketball. Because this game, we know, is going to be competitive, and guys want to win. But get that over with, get it out the way, and let's move on and get back to playing really good basketball.
Well, you can see the refs are discussing whether the penalties, what fouls are they going to call here. So let's find out. So Royce White and Josh Smith are both going to be ejected.
And that's where you didn't want to start your debut at the Big Three right at the beginning of the game to get ejected. But again, the officials want to take control of it, knowing it's at the beginning of the game and things can continue to escalate. So you alleviate the problem by ejecting the two perpetrators. Again, I think if the initial part of it would have stopped, they would have moved on. But the escalation of it between the two players is what caused the official to kind of come together and eject both of them.
There's Royce White heading back to the locker room. And Josh Smith will be heading out as well. And here the boos rain down on Josh Smith. He had a short time here in Detroit. Remember, he signed that big contract, and they just didn't like the production that they had gotten when he was in Detroit.
Well, and they're letting him hear it right now. So Clay getting involved in that.
Yeah. Clay continues on here.
Well, let's get back to some basketball.
As Craig Smith drives. Josh Smith taking his time, exiting the floor. 4-point lead here for Bivouac. Morrow the board. Bynum, pull up, got it. Here's Frank Robinson with the rock for the enemies. They'll call that one on Will Bynum. Here's Craig Smith of the enemies. Working on Sean Williams. Robinson misses. Bynum's got 7 points for Bivouac. 5 on the shot clock. He'll pull up again. Rebound, Williams, back to Bynum. Five seconds, shot clock. Williams pulls the three, too strong. Craig Smith. The enemies have gone ice cold from the field.
A lot of jump shots right here by both teams. Again, it's a bailout shot a lot of times when you just settle instead of really, no mistake that time by Bynum stepping on the side. Put the ball on the deck and attack. Spread the floor a little bit, get into a pick and roll, turn the corner, force the defense to have to make a decision, whether that's to help. If not, now you get yourself a layup inside.
Well, it kind of leaves Rick Mahorn in a bind, too, because he only had one man on the bench, and that's Lamar Odom. Because we got to remember, Gilbert Arenas is not here. He's inactive.
Yep.
So his bench is thin.
Well, you know, but it's all about how you rotate Lamar Odom in to try not to overload his minutes, or Perry, or Smith, or Robinson, and figure out ways to be competitive and get easy. That's why when you have a short bench, one thing you can't do is extend yourself defensively or offensively trying to do too much. Keep it as simple as possible. Try to get to the free throw line, get into the penalty. Now you get yourself a nice little rhythm where you're really not overextending yourself with such a short bench.
Craig Smith knocks down the free throw. Here's Bynum. Lost it. So did Perry Jones, as the enemies lost out on an opportunity for an easy bucket. It's a 6-point lead for Bivouac. It's the Big Three here on the CBS Sports Network. Monday night, 9 Eastern, CBS Sports Network brings you coverage of the 2019 Collegiate Women's Sports Awards. Top-tier student athletes throughout the NCAA are honored for their impressive accomplishments in their sports, schools, and communities. 6-point lead for Bivouac over the enemies, and the enemies are led by their head coach, Rick Mahorn. He's with our Michael Rappaport.
All right, unprecedented access with one of the baddest bad boys back in Detroit. What did you think of the skirmish that happened earlier in the game, Coach, between your players and the Bivouacs?
I thought it was, a lot of frustration on both players and team. Just got to keep playing and stay focused.
On your Richter scale, on the Rick Mahorn Richter scale of incidents, where would you put that as a 1 to 10?
I didn't even put it on there yet. It wasn't enough said.
How you feeling about your guy Lamar Odom so far? Everybody's so excited to see him play. How you feeling about him?
So, Michael, I'm down to almost 10 points. I got to get back into this game. Leave me alone.
That's what I like about Rick Mahorn. He keeps it funky, and he'll keep it rude. Guys?
Well, he's a bad boy for nothing. As Perry Jones knocks down the three. And the enemy's trying to climb back into this one. First team to 25, we go to the ass. Here's Will Bynum. Working on Jones. Oh, look at the handle. Hedgie, ball fake. Anthony Morrow now. Pull up. Missed it. Craig Smith now. Here's Shawne Williams. Turns, but there is Frank Robinson to clean up the mess. 4-point lead now for Bivouac.
Yeah, heads-up play that time by Robinson, a.k.a. Frank Biddy. True league legend back in Los Angeles, California. Gets his debut kind of on the national stage here. A lot of people have heard about what he's been able to do, put up 44 on Denzel Washington.
What do you think about
Denzel Valentine in the summer. But even when I was covering him in college at Michigan State, I would always slip up and say, my man Washington. It's just natural.
Here's Bynum like a rainbow. 4-point lead for Bivouac. Perry Jones now. Nice. Inside to Smith. He lays it in. Craig Smith thought he was going to get the and one.
Well, again, Perry Jones didn't settle for the jump shot. He was able to get a foot by Bynum to help Kane. Smith dove down the middle. You just make a play from there.
2-point lead now for Bivouac. Bynum with 5 on the shot clock. Steps in. Splash. 4-point lead. Oh, Robinson just went right through Will Bynum.
That's his experience right there, because Bynum knew once Robinson turned down the jump shot, he was going to put his head down and come to the basket, and Bynum positioned himself nicely to absorb that charge.
C.J. Leslie will check in for Bivouac, seeing his first action of the game. Lamar Odom checking in as well. We have a break here in the action. 4-point lead for Bivouac. Well, Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, get ready for a WNBA showdown as the Minnesota Lynx take on the Indiana Fever on the CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
speaking of WNBA, can't wait for the debut of Lisa Leslie, her coaching debut.
Yes. You can see Lisa Leslie tomorrow in Indianapolis. 14,235 have come out here to the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit.
We thank you.
To watch opening night of the Big 3, Season 3.
Well, we were talking to Ice Cube before the game, and people don't understand the passion. They should in year 3, but if you haven't paid attention, the passion behind why this league is so important to him. You know, he wanted to make sure and ensure that it was professional, guys had fun, but it was competition. And he wants people to come out and enjoy what he does, which is former players he loved to watch compete at a high level right now, later in their career.
2 missed shots by Bivouac. Will Bynum leads them in scoring right now with 7. Perry Jones, leading scorer for the enemies. He's got 5. Bivouac 8 points away from the half. Jones 3. That's too strong. Here's C.J. Leslie. Odom, offensive board. They give to Frank Robinson, and Frank Robinson will go to the line.
Yeah, smart cut that time. Odom not comfortable going straight up, but Robinson, instead of standing married to the three-point line, dove to the basket, able to receive the pass and get himself now to the free throw line.
So here's Frank Robinson, his first season here in the Big 3. That shot rolls off. Here's Shawne Williams, step back. Good look inside to Craig Smith. And the enemies now down just 2. They're on a 9-2 run. C.J. Leslie, too strong with that jumper. Smith inside. And he'll go to the line.
And time Will Bynum got a little bit too much contact on the arm. And I tell you, anytime you have a mismatch inside, especially with the player smaller than you, you got to make the move quick. Because the more you put it on the ground and hesitate, less advantage you have because you have to bring the ball down, and that's when a smaller player reaches in and takes it away.
And they're going to call a technical foul on the bench of Bivouac and Will Bynum. So first,
and the missed free throw that time by Robinson.
Yep. Frank Robinson. Will Bynum said something to the ref.
He must have said something after he turned his back. Because right there looked like a conversation. He didn't agree with the official's explanation, so he had to say something as he turned and walked away.
So they get the basketball as well. 11-2 run for the enemies. We're all tied up now. First team to 25, we go to the half. Here's Shawne Williams. C.J. Leslie, the offensive glass. In the lane, gets the roll. Count the basket in 1. C.J. Leslie.
The activity that time by Leslie. Kind of seeking the offensive rebound, recognizing at the end that he had a little mismatch on Robinson. Even as he was dislodged inside, able to finish with a soft touch. And you know, a lot of times, you know, in defense of these two teams here, you wait around all day to play. You end up playing at 10 o'clock at night. And it takes a little bit to kind of find the rhythm when you've just been sitting around for most of the afternoon and early evening.
Oh, how about that? throw it up and get the bucket in one, Craig Smith.
Why not? But Craig has been, basically locking that big body on the block all evening. That time, showing the soft hands to be able to gather and then a soft touch to finish inside.
Lamar Odom just walked by us. The big three thing is a little harder than you anticipated. Huh?
He said, I think I'm ready to join you. I said, I'll just give it a little time, big fella.
All these guys, when they come into the league, they find out how physical it is and how much.
But not only that, so the theory is that it's half court,
right?
You don't have to run as much. I tell you this.
Defensively, you have to work harder.
You have to work harder because if the ball is on the strong side and the ball gets swung all the way over to the corner, you're used to having the fourth and fifth guy to rotate over. You see the shot going up. Right now, with three players, you got to run and sprint. So you're actually running a lot more without that fourth and fifth player, and you don't realize it until you get into this competitive environment, how taxing it is on your body.
Smith missed that three. Enemies up one. They're 5 points away from the half. Morrow will inbound it. Here's Shawne Williams. Morrow, the offensive basket. Rebound. Williams, step back. Good steal by Morrow. Barry Jones fouls him.
Yeah, good foul. That time he had advantage inside. Morrow either could have shot or he was looking for Leslie inside. And this time Jones takes the smart foul to send Morrow to the line and make him earn it from there. Two former Georgia Tech teammates.
Yeah, Will Bynum and Anthony Morrow played together at Georgia Tech that 2004-2005 season. Bynum, the senior, Morrow was a freshman then. Tech won 20 games. That season he went to the NCAA tournament. Here's Morrow. Got it. Splash for three. Bivouac. Point away from the half. Perry Jones now. They call a charge on Perry.
At the end, you'll see Morrow in position, but Perry Jones, take a look at the left arm right there. See, if you don't extend it, now the official doesn't call it because it's contact. But once you extend that chicken wing, so to speak, right there and dislodge, that's an easy call for the official. And Morrow, hyped about the call.
He's got 10 points. Anthony Morrow spent 9 years in the NBA. Knocks down the free throw. We're going to the half. Bivouac with a 6-point lead over the enemies. The two new teams to the Big Three. Bivouac with a 7-0 run to end the half and a 6-point lead. 6-point lead for Bivouac. It's opening night of the Big Three. You're watching the Big Three opening night presented by State Farm here on the CBS Sports Network.
Basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Opening night of the Big Three here on the CBS Sports Network. Two new teams of the league, Bivouac and the enemies. Bivouac with a 6-point lead. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson here in Detroit. And you look at the first half, two new teams trying to work out the kinks. But I think for Bivouac, Anthony Morrow impressive in that first half.
Well, he stepped up in the big time. I know it was a scuffle at the beginning and things kind of got in the lull, but not with Anthony Morrow. I think for him, it was all about proving he can play right here, turning off defense into offense, showing a nice touch inside with a three-point shot, and then right place, right time, layup. Then as you lull people to sleep, Morrow and Perry Jones, the third, you better step out here. I'm hot right now. 12 points, 2 of 2 behind the three-point line.
And right now, Anthony Morrow is on the court with our Michael Rappaport.
Anthony Morrow, your first half in the Big 3, how you feel so far?
Feel great, man. It's fun. Couldn't wait to get out here and get with my guys and compete.
What do you think of the physicality of the Big 3?
I've been playing like this my whole life, man. This ain't nothing, man. It's fun.
All right, well, good luck. Have a great second half. Fellas, that's unprecedented access. Hashtag unprecedented access.
Thank you, Mike. Will Bynum will bring it in here for Bivouac. He had 7 in the first half. As he drives. Scoop. How about C.J. Leslie? Flying in for the finish.
And that was a set play coming out to get the switch with Perry guarding Bynum and then trying to exploit it. And that time, Lamar Odom kind of fell asleep and then blocked out Leslie. Another charge.
The other charge on Perry Jones.
Wait, I mean, but you got to be smart right now, understanding how the officials are calling the game. You can't try to overpower. Right here, one dribble, pull it for a little jump shot. Now you got it, okay? But now you're playing into the hands of your smaller opponent by trying to be more forceful instead of using what's in between your ears.
Here's Morrow. Airball that 3. Jones knocks down the three-pointer. First team to 50 wins the game. You got to win by 2. Here's C.J. Leslie. Frank Robinson with that left. Leslie working on Odom. Nice move in the lane.
And that all opened up once again because you have Bynum and Morrow spread out on the wing. You can't really help off of them, so Leslie smartly took advantage of it and went inside for an easy 2.
Here's Lamar Odom. Misses the jumper. It'll stay with the enemies. Robinson inside. He'll go to the line. Foul by C.J. Leslie. Lamar Odom will check out. Craig Smith will have it. He'll come back in. Here's Robinson in the lane. Morrow open for 3. Frank Robinson, one dribble, pull up. Both teams have gone cold here in the second half. Bynum missed everything and put back there by Craig Smith.
Now that's the penalty right there if you don't hit the rim. I mean, a lot of times you're out of position to offensive rebound and you give the opportunity for the defensive team to be able to put it right back up.
Bynum uses the speed. Right past Perry Jones.
And it looks like, too, in the second half, Reggie Theus has gone to this 3 out, 2 out and 1 in the middle. Then we're going to drive you and force you to have to guard, especially a smaller Will Bynum. If you help, we're going to kick it out. If you don't, he's able to get to the line. We saw him in the league finish over taller opponents. Down on that one. Tip.
I love it. Perry Jones said, hey, I didn't touch that.
It wasn't me, bro.
Is that air ball? It wasn't me.
Take a look at the end, right? Yeah, I think the ball, the carom of the ball, spin on the ball changed a little bit.
Bynum. Oh, he's tripped up. Driving to the lane.
Yeah, but actually Bynum didn't clear beyond the three-point line either.
Bivouac with a 4-point lead. Here's C.J. Leslie. Oh, Morrow. Ball went to him. Leslie. The bucket and one.
Just more active right now, especially when the ball goes up. Just the players right now, just, you know, that one was just a short shot, and Leslie again, just the activity. A lot of times you just got to be in the right place at the right time and then take advantage of it.
Bivouac completes the three-point play. They're now 15 points away from victory.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because this is the first year for Reggie Theus, so he's still trying to figure out with his Bivouac team of the strategies behind playing 3-on-3. Oh, that's a nice strategy.
Yes. Barry Jones with authority.
There's a spread.
Yep. And Will Bynum using that speed. Seven-point lead for Bivouac. It's the Big Three here on the CBS Sports Network.
Big 3 basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
We're in Detroit, opening night of the Big Three here on the CBS Sports Network. Two of the new teams, Bivouac, 7-point lead over the enemies. Let's go to the court. Our Michael Rappaport with Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom, first of all, it's so good to see you on the basketball court. How you feeling?
Want me to be honest?
Yeah, of course.
I like a little lost. I miss so much time playing. My timing is off. I just need some time in the gym.
It's the first game of the year. You got a long summer. You're out here, which I think is a big hurdle.
Yeah.
What do you think of the pace of the game, just what you've been seeing so far?
It's all right. I like the pace of the game. Once I get my rhythm back, it should be no problem.
Yeah, well, we want to see you out here. Don't give up. You got a long season in front of you, man.
Facts.
You've come this far, man. You got to keep going.
Of course.
All right, Lamar.
Love that.
Yeah, but also take a look at the number, 45, Bob. That's into ode to Rasul Butler, who played the first year
who passed
in
away.
the Big Three.
Yeah.
He, along with his beautiful wife, Leah, tragically passed away in a car accident in Studio City. And for Lamar and all of us who know Rasul, this is a shout out to him. Who we know he's looking down right now, enjoying that.
I tell you, Lamar Odom is really a walking miracle. When you think about it, he had like 7 supposedly heart attacks at one point in that time when he was in that near coma. That's just unbelievable. C.J. Leslie putting it on the deck. Draws the foul on Frank Robinson. Brendan Morrow for Bivouac. Or Anthony Morrow has 12 points. He's their leading scorer.
Let's see if they go back to that spread. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah, and Craig Smith leading scorer here for the enemies. This is Bynum. And draws the foul on Robinson.
Yeah, there it is. Even out of that short shot clock, goes right back to the spread to see who Bynum can get on him to go one-on-one. And the classic mistake of, we always say it, don't foul a shooter. But when you're a half a step behind and now you have to lunge at your opponent, a lot of times you don't have the control and you end up, when we just talked about fouling a shooter.
So here's Will Bynum, an 8-year career. Played with Golden State and the Pistons for a couple of seasons. Bivouac with a 9-point lead, 11 points away from victory. As Craig Smith goes right down the lane, lays it in.
Craig Smith.
Bynum again attacking Perry Jones. So Bynum back at the line. He left that one short.
Yeah.
Bynum again. Oh, how about this? Morrow. The bump by Robinson.
Yeah, but because of Morrow's ability to stretch the court, that little pump fake, and now Robinson not in position because he had to help on the drive, causes the foul.
There's a timeout on the court. Bivouac 11 points away from victory. Reggie Theus in his first season here in the Big Three. Don't forget, Big Three comes your way tomorrow in Indianapolis. 1 Eastern on CBS. You'll see a couple of games. The Triplets, one of the new franchises, so is the Aliens. Joe Johnson, one of the new players as well. And then game 2, how about Dr. J's squad? Tri-State, Maury Stoudemire taking on Josh Powell, the killer threes. And the third game you'll see right here on the CBS Sports Network is the Ball Hogs. Takes on the Ghost Ballers. There's Q. He'll be there in Indianapolis as well.
He'll be everywhere. He's going to be at all the games. You better believe that.
In fact, they're going to break down this court tonight, put it on the road, and set it right up in the morning there in Indianapolis.
And that was the theory behind how the cities got selected, was because you have an evening game probably on a Saturday, an afternoon game on a Sunday. Sometimes they switch up, but because this is not your standard court, you have to dismantle the court, load it up, get it to the next city. So you want it to be in close proximity to cut down on the time of travel, but then give enough time for it to be set up properly. So smart on the navigation part of the Big Three, geographically picking the right cities.
Here's Anthony Morrow. He has been the leading scorer for Bivouac. And now they're 9 points away from victory. Bynum again, attacking the rim.
And they're also in the penalty, which means they get the ball back. So again, Reggie Theus is not going to overcomplicate the situation. He knows what's working for his team, and the enemies haven't made the adjustment in regards to taking that straight line drive away from Will Bynum.
Smith, the three, yes.
Smith for 3.
Enemies needed that.
This is into the court right here where they're really going to need a stop. They really get back in the game, and there you go. You got one, and Will Bynum bailed him out.
Smith again, another three to make things interesting.
There we go.
Enemies now just down 3. Bynum, another 3. Second straight time he's done that. But they're going to call a foul on Perry Jones this time.
We can take a look right here to see if Perry Jones gets him at the end. Once again, he did get him.
Will Bynum knocks down the free throw for 3.
And this could be a 5 or 6 point play, or even 7. Not to say they're going to shoot a 4-point shot, but if I'm Bynum, why would I'm not going to settle. Because my bread and butter has been to kind of put my defender on skates and then get to the basket. Right now, you're playing kind of right into the hands of what Perry Jones wants you to do, which is shoot a contested 3-point shot.
Bynum comes up with the steal. Morrow. Back to Bynum. 5 on the shot clock. 4. Step back. Bynum got it. Bivouac now 4 points away from victory. Here's Perry Jones. 3. Craig Smith lays it in.
6-point game.
Now see if Bynum attacks.
Yep. He
Lost it
off his foot.
CJ Leslie comes up with it. Morrow, the drive, the floater, yes! Bivouac now 2 points away from victory.
And that time Craig Smith kind of bailed Morrow out trying to go for the steal. When you do that, you don't have backline protection.
Jones, step back 3. Point game coming. Here's Bivouac. Bynum, the fake, up and under, missed it. And the 3 is good.
All right.
5-point lead. Point game again. And Reggie Theus is going to call a timeout. He wants to talk about it.
This is the part of the strategy part about conserving and using your timeouts in the right situation and coming into the league now understanding, okay, maybe this time we will draw up a play to get a quality shot. But ultimately you would think the ball would start with Will Bynum, maybe draw some defenders, maybe a quick pick and roll to try to get either a layup and then draw defenders into the drive and kick.
Anthony Morrow, CJ Leslie, Will Bynum in for Bivouac. For the enemies, Craig Smith, Frank Robinson, and Perry Jones. Your leading scorers, Bynum with 18, Morrow's got 16, Smith's got 26. Here's Bynum. Game point, Bivouac. As Will Bynum, the former Piston, comes home and gets a game winner and gives Bivouac their first win in the Big 3. Will Bynum ends the night with 20. Anthony Morrow 16. And Craig Smith 26 for the enemies. Let's go to Michael Rappaport with the winning coach, Reggie Theus.
All right, I'm with the coach, Reggie Theus. You got your first win in the Big 3. How does it feel to be back in professional basketball?
Well, it's great. I'm enjoying being around the guys. A lot of fun. It was nice to get the win. I was worried about what happened early, but the guys really came together and played well together.
Well, what did you make of the temperament of the game? You grew up and you played in a time when anything goes. There was fighting and no one would think twice about it. What did you think of the physicality?
Well, you know, not necessary for the kids, but I enjoyed the physical contact. I enjoyed the passion, but you got to contain yourself at the same time.
All right, well, Reggie, congratulations. It's great to have you in the Big 3. Looking forward to having you all season.
All right,
fellas, great first week. Season 3 of the Big 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 7-point victory for Bivouac. We'll be back to wrap things up. You're watching opening night of the Big 3, presented by State Farm here on the CBS Sports Network.